Hey guys, it's Bo Beatty with Llama Life. Thanks for joining us on another episode here today. We're going to go over bear hangs, and the first bear hang that we're going to do is the most simple, easy outfitter hang using pulleys. And so we've got a rescue pulley that we're going to use, and we're going to go ahead and just dive right into it. A lot of people, guides and outfitters alike, ask us how do we do our bear hangs. And if you're using a bear hang and you're using, you're going to hang less than 75 pounds, this is kind of the easiest and the quickest way to do a bear hang. So this is kind of outfitter method number one of doing a bear hang. Okay, so what we're going to do is we need to tie a carabiner on the end of a rope. And so we've got a 40-foot 5mm rope that we're going to be hanging all of our stuff from. And then we've got a 60 feet of 7mm rope. So we'll go ahead and take our rescue pulley. What we're going to do is this is just going to hang from the top of our branch where we're going to do our hang from. And so I'm just going to connect these two, and then we're just going to toss this up and over of our bear hang. And we're going up and over. There she goes! The carabiner is going to be at the top, and so they're hoisting everything up and over. And that way, versus the carabiner being down at the bottom, it makes it a lot easier to pull. Get out our rope, and the reason why I like to pull with the 7mm rope is because it makes it a lot easier to grip with your hands, and also it's a little bit stronger. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and put this through. Awesome. Then what I'm gonna do is just tie on the bottom of this loop. I'm just going to tie a bowline knot. That way, once we get pressure on it, it'll be easy to undo. Cool. All right, we got a carabiner on. Now what I'm going to do is unhook this end, unravel this end as it goes up the tree. And now we're ready to go. So away, up our carabiner goes. And we're going to take our carabiner all the way to the top. And then we're going to tie it off. So I'm just going to do 2 overhand knots, just like a trucker hitch. Now we're going to go ahead and pull this, make sure it's 10 feet off the ground. And we've got about 4 feet from the top of the tree. All right guys, so that's outfitter method number one of how to do a bear hang. Typically, like I said, you want to have 75 pounds or less going up into the tree. 4 feet from the top of the limb, 4 to 6 feet away from the trunk, and 10 feet up in the air. And so we've got our bear hang done. Now we're protected, our camp's protected, and we're also preserving the livelihood of bears so they don't get habitual to eating human food. So we're pretty much done. We're gonna go ahead and start on outfitter method number 2. This is outfitter method number 2 of how to do bear hangs in the backcountry. This is a way you can hang a lot of different weight. So we're talking a couple different bear hangs, 100, 200, 300 pounds. If you need to get it up in the air and you're one person, this is how you do it. And so one of the most important steps is having 3 mountaineering rescue pulleys. And now once you got these pulleys, we can start with step 1 and start getting everything set up. The first step is to get a rescue pulley and get it harnessed up in the air and have your loop coming down to connect onto whatever you're trying to get up into the tree. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw a line up and over our limb that we're going to be doing our bear hang on, and we're going to get everything connected. So we'll go ahead and start with that. We've got a 5mm rope here. What we're going to do is we're going to connect this rope to our rescue pulley, and we're going to connect our rock bag here also to a rescue pulley. That way we can get this rope up and over our limb. So we've got about 3 or 4 pounds here, and that should help us get the rope up and over the limb. So we got a rock bag, we've got a carabiners and a rescue pulley. Now we're gonna go ahead and hopefully, if I get on the first try, I'll be elated. All right, so I wanna hold the end of the loop just in case I knock this one out of the forest here. Okay, so I'm holding the end. We're gonna go ahead and give it a good toss. Perfect. Wow. I did it. First try. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie this end off so that I can start working on the rescue pulley end. Now we've got our rope. It's gonna go all the way top with our connected with the rescue pulley. And now this is gonna be our pull rope. We've got a 7mm. So we've got our 5mm rope up and over the limb connected to a rescue pulley. And then we're going to take our 7mm rope and we're actually going to connect this to our load. So what we have is 2 mineral bags we use for llamas. They're 50 pounds each. And so we're going to just stack them up and use them to go up into the tree. So we'll have 100 pounds going up. Going to try to punch that here in the middle. And I'm just going to tie a bowline knot. It's somewhat balanced, that should work pretty good. Okay, so now that we've got our cargo tied up here, this is our first rescue pulley that we're using. Our line is already through the rescue pulley. And kind of step 2 here, what we want to do is, we showed you guys how to do a prusik knot, and we've got that tied here. Well, actually we've got the double fisherman's knot, and we're going to go ahead and tie that. Prusik knot down here, about like that. Cool. And so that is ready to go. And then we connect it with our second rescue pulley. And so we just want to make sure this isn't going to slip. Feels pretty tight to me. And then we're going to run our line through our pulley. The reason why I really like these pulleys is because they're really easy to work with. Okay, so we've got all of our pulleys connected. We've got our first rescue pulley. We've got our second rescue pulley. Now this one's going to go all the way up into the tree. And we've got our line secured down here on our cargo. And we've got a prusik knot tied here. And so connected to our prusik knot at this end is our second rescue pulley. So right now what we're going to do, we'll have all of our line loose. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get our third rescue pulley set up into the tree and ready to rock and roll. We've got our third rescue pulley and we've got a carabiner. We're going to just connect them. We're going to go ahead and get our rock bag and connect it onto here. And this is our third pulley. This one also has to go up and over the limb. And we want it to be about 2 feet or so away from where we last threw the last one. And that way we've got a little bit more leverage. So we're going to attach our rock bag and throw this one up and over. This is one of our last steps. What we're going to do, we're just trying to get all 3 pulleys connected. So we're going to unconnect this pulley. We're going to run our line through it. Connect it all back up. Connect the pulley to the carabiner. And now this is what this end we're going to pull on. And to kind of give you guys the picture of what's going to happen here, we've got this pulley. It's going to go all the way up into the tree. We've got our second pulley that's going to stay down low, tied with a prusik knot close to our cargo. It's about 2 feet away. And then we've got our third pulley, also goes up in the tree, spaced a couple feet apart from our first pulley. And then we're going to pull on this end right here, and this is the end we're going to tie off. So the next step that we're going to do before we can start pulling, everything's connected. We have to lift up pulley 1 all the way to the top and tie it off. We have to lift pulley 3 all the way to the top and tie it off, and then we're pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to start backwards a little bit. I'm going to lift pulley 3 all the way up. So I've got it tied here. This rope ended up being a little short on me. So pulley 3, away we go up in the air, all the way to the top. All right, so now that we've got pulley 3 up in the air, we're going to take pulley 1 all the way up in the air, and then we're going to tie it off. Okay, so we got 100 pounds attached. Pulley 1 is up in the air. Pulley 2 connected down here. And pulley 3 is up in the air. So we're going to bring this over just a little bit. And we're officially ready to pull this on up. So we got 100 pounds. Going into the air like nobody's business. All right. So we'll go till right before the pulleys touch each other. Perfect. And our bear hang is totally secure. One person is able with 3 pulleys and about 240 feet of rope total to get 100 pounds up in the tree. So this is Alternate Method number 2. This is the PCT method of doing an ultralight backpacking hang. Typically you're looking at 15 pounds or less if you're doing this method. It's pretty simple. What you need is, I like to have 50 feet of paracord, a couple carabiners, a stick, and then also your food bag. So this is about all you need to be able to do the PCT method of doing ultralight backpacking hang. Okay, so we've got, this is going to be step 1. We've got our paracord, we've got all 50 feet strung out, and we've got a rock bag here. We've got a couple big rocks in here, carabiner tied to the end, and then on the end of our paracord, we just did a simple bow line knot, and we got it all hooked up here. So now we're going to get up and over our limb, and one of the important things to remember is you want to be 4 to 5 feet away from your tree, the trunk, and you want to be 4 feet down from the limb and at least 10 feet up in the air. So look at the diagram. It's really helpful just to keep these things in mind to be able to do the bear hang properly. So this is the PCT method. We've got a paracord. It's a great way of hanging 10 to 15 pounds or less if you got to do a bear hang. So we're going to go ahead and throw this rock bag up and over the limb and get started. Now we've got it all connected. We'll take off our rock bag and actually put on our food bag here. In our food bag, just a dry bag so it keeps everything nice and dry. And that's pretty much step 1 to getting your bear hang done properly. Now what we're going to do is we'll lift up our bag and we're going to put our tail end of our hang here, we're going to put it through our carabiner. Come on, baby. Perfect. So now we got it through our carabiner. We're going to lift it all the way up as high as we can. And now once we have it up there, what we want to do is we want to grab a stick and kind of keep our hands above our head. And the clove hitch that we showed you in one of our earlier videos, it'll be in the description. So if you don't know how to do a clove hitch, go ahead and click on the video description below and we'll show you how to do that. So right here is where we tie a clove hitch. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now. Oh, freak. Okay, so now we've got our clove hitch done. We're going to just let it slide back underneath itself. And then the stick is going to block it. And now we have our free dangling rope and our bear hang is done. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy. One method that I don't like about this is that a lot of people don't use a locking carabiner. It's really important to use a locking carabiner because if your string comes back through the other end, then you have no way of getting your food back down. And so that can happen. So this is the PCT method. There's one main issue of it is not using a locking carabiner. So make sure you use a locking carabiner. And then another method is a lot of times you can't get far enough away from the tree trunk. And so you need to be able to bring your bear hang bag further away from the tree trunk. So that's what you use the alternate PCT method for. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that next. So one thing people always ask is, why do you have to use a stick versus just tying off to a tree? And the PCT method is one of the safest ways to doing a bear hang. And the reason is once you get this up in the air, and let's say you do tie it to a tree, so we'll go all the way to the top. We'll tie it to a tree here. Let's say you just got done cooking dinner or whatever, and you go ahead and you tie this off. This is all tied off, and a bear comes and you've got grease or cooking oil or whatever on your hands, and you start to tie this off because that's where you last touched the rope. The bear will smell it. He'll come over here potentially, and the bears will bite this cord. And when they bite this cord and go through it, then what happens is your bear hang and all your food come down, and then your bear got access to your food. So then the bear is habituated to finding the string or the cord, smelling it, biting it, breaking it, boom, your bear hang falls down, and your bear eats your bear hang, all your food. So this way, if you do it the PCT method and you have your stick, it stops it, and the bear can sit here and play with this, bite it all he wants, and it doesn't matter. Your food's not coming down, your bear hang is secure. So just a few tidbits there on the PCT method. Hopefully it was helpful. Now we'll go ahead and start on the alternate PCT method. Okay, so this is the alternate PCT method. Thanks for clicking on the video, guys. We really appreciate it. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense. If you haven't done the seen our PCT method of doing a bear hang, then you need to go ahead and watch that for this to make any sense. Also, you need to know how to do a clove hitch and a bow line hitch. So if you know how to do those two knots and you've watched the PCT method, this is a really great method to use if you can't do the PCT method. So everything is the same on the alternate method of the PCT bear hang as it is with the PCT, except for one change. So we threw our bear hang up and over the top. We got a rope connected to our bear bag. And the next thing we're going to do, instead of connecting our tail end to our carabiner, we're just going to go ahead and lift it all the way up in the air. So we did not put it through the carabiner. So now I got it all the way to the top. And now what we're going to do, we'll take our stick and then we'll tie our clove hitch. So, okay, so we've got our clove hitch tied on and we are not connected into our carabiner. So we're going to let our clove hitch and stick all the way up. Now we're going to let our bear bag down. And once they pass each other here, I'll grab the bear bag. Okay, so now I've got my bear bag with all our food in it. Now is when we actually connect our tail end here in my right hand. And we're going to connect it into the carabiner. Now we're connected. The stick will not let the bag go all the way to the top. And so I like to use the alternate PCT method when your bear hang is too close to a trunk and your bear can get access to it. That way it allows you to pull way out into the open. So that's what we did here. Works great. Hopefully this is helpful. Please click on our other videos and subscribe. See you on the trail, guys.